Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. It's cold out this morning. It's in the single digits. Having my coffee. Got a fire going. It's going to take a little bit to warm up in here, so you're going to have to forgive my breath for this video. But I want to do an SHTF scenario video for you guys, and I usually when I do a scenario video, it's on a hypothetical situation and how I would handle that particular situation. I give you guys a little cheesy acting along with it, and but this particular scenario video actually happened to me here in the last couple of days in this really bad weather we've been having, and I thought it really illustrated a couple of points that I wanted to make to you guys so you guys can think your way through a bad situation. I'm going to give you what the situation was, and then I'm going to take just a little bit of a break and come back, and then so you guys have a chance to basically discuss that situation, how you would handle it. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you guys what I did with this situation, why I did what I did. Now, I was heading out early one day this week. We've had terrible weather. We've had bad visibility, very cold temperatures, and it was about an hour before daylight, so it was dark outside. Visibility on the roads was about a quarter mile at this particular point in time, so I was driving slow. There was not a lot of traffic out, but there was some traffic out on the roads, and I'm just trucking along doing my thing. And I got about halfway to my destination, and I seen something that was definitely out of the ordinary, and I couldn't tell what it was at first until I got a little bit closer, because of course the visibility was only about a quarter mile. And I got up there, and what it was is the snowplow was on the wrong side of the road, faced in the opposite direction, half in the ditch, buried in the snow, and sort of half out of the ditch. Now, I've lived in Michigan my whole life, and I can pretty much count on one hand the amount of times I've seen a snowplow stuck. And this particular situation, I have never seen one that was turned around right in the middle of the road and off in the ditch the way this particular snowplow was that morning. And it was sort of an odd situation, and something that you don't see every day, and it was definitely something that I would call a mini SHTF scenario that I came up on. So I'm going to take a little break here, and I'm going to stop the video, give you guys a few minutes to discuss it amongst yourselves of how you would handle this particular situation if you came up on this particular situation, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I did about it. Anyway, you guys stick around. All right, guys, I am back here, and now I am going to jump into a little bit of detail here about this particular situation and what I did about it. And first of all, up north here, I mean, if I got any viewers that live in an area where there's not a lot of snow and not a lot of cold weather, I want to emphasize how important the snowplow is to the infrastructure in these rural areas out here where it's cold and snowy. Myself personally, it's the one government service that I want to function and that I want to work, because I can't plow 20 miles of road. I don't have the physical capability to do that. I can make my own electricity. I can stay warm. I can grow my own food. I can figure out ways to get things done. But that plowing the road is very, very important, and it's very critical. It's one of the most critical things that I feel in our particular area. And I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. If those snowplows can't open those roads up, and you got a relative that has a medical emergency, and the ambulance has got to come and pick you up, or you got a fire in a building and the firefighters got to come and help you out, and they can't get through because the road is blocked with snow and ice and everything else, that's a problem. And not a lot of townships and not a lot of counties have a ton of snowplows. So when one is offline, one is off the road in the ditch, that's a problem. And that's not just a problem for me, it's a problem for the entire community. So it's a situation, if I see something like that, I want to react to that because, other lives might be basically at risk if this situation isn't corrected. Now, it was a bad situation. The plow was in the ditch. It was on the opposite side of the road, facing the wrong way. So I pulled up on it. The truck was upright. Didn't appear that any damage was on the truck. He had his emergency lights on. So I had to make basically a split-second decision. What am I going to do here? The road was half blocked. So if I would have stopped my vehicle, jumped out, went and checked on the driver, I would have either had to block the existing lane that was there, or I would have had to get over far enough to get out of the lane, and then I would have been stuck. Then you would have had two obstacles, my truck and the snowplow on either side of a very narrow opening when the visibility was only a quarter mile. So you can see how this situation was bad all the way around. I wanted to help the driver. I wanted to render assistance, but at that particular moment, if I would have stopped to try to render aid at that particular point, first of all, snowplows are basically giant dump trucks. I just have a regular pickup truck. I couldn't have done nothing to get him out of the snowbank that he was in. Basically, the only thing I could have done was assist the driver for whatever reason. So I made the split decision. Okay, the vehicle's upright, doesn't appear to have any damage. He's got all his emergency lights on, so I'm assuming that the driver is correct. I don't want to stop here because I'm going to cause another problem. I take the Hippocratic oath of preparedness. I don't want to cause any harm by my interaction with the situation. I want to make the situation better. So I made the split-second decision. I'm going to continue on, and as soon as it's safe, I'm going to call local dispatch, and I'm going to get on the phone with them, and I'm going to explain the situation, what it is, so they can send somebody out there that's going to be equipped to take care of this situation. And no other vehicles, as far as I could tell, stopped for this particular snowplow. So I continued on. I went about another 8 miles before I was safe enough where I could pull off and I could call local dispatch. I called local dispatch, and now this is another thing. When you're talking to local dispatch, talking to 911 or anything, most people that call those numbers had some type of event that was bad. So their adrenaline is going to be up. They're going to talk 100 miles an hour, and you have to be able to relay key details to emergency services so they can do their thing. And the big thing, I've learned this years ago when we've called dispatch for different things, they want to know what happened, what you've seen, and where it is. And where it is kind of the important one. And this is why I always kind of get on local navigation, not so much always, topo map navigation with compasses and stuff, but when you're traveling down the road, being able to relay to somebody else where you're at. And here out in the country where we're at, it's generally by cardinal directions and at crossroads. And if you're on a expressway, it's going to be stuff like mile markers and where your exits are. For me, that particular day, I wasn't too far. I figure about a quarter mile from a particular crossroad. So I told dispatch, hey, you got a plow in the ditch. It's turned around. It's facing in the opposite direction. It didn't look like that there was an accident. I didn't see any damage. They had their emergency lights on, and it was about a quarter mile north of this particular crossroads on this particular road. So I gave them a specific location where this had taken place and where it was at so they could go do their thing. They could render aid. But there's been lots of times when situations have taken place that I either witnessed or were party of, you didn't have that exact location, and that's the first thing they're going to ask you. Where's that at? What mile marker are you at? What particular intersection are you at? Give me your location, because if they don't know the location where you're at, they can't send anybody out, and it becomes basically a guessing game for them. So that ability to calmly, coolly, collectively give information, give the location so emergency services can respond. Never heard anything back. A few hours later, went past that same thing. Plow was out of the ditch, seen another plow on the road doing their thing. send a wrecker out to pull the guy out. I'm sure everything was fine and dandy. Most of those snowplows and stuff, they're going to have basically a ham radio in there where they can contact other people. Somebody was probably already contacted by the driver before I even called, but you know what? I didn't want to take that chance. I wanted, he was in the ditch. Something else could have been wrong. I didn't know. And like I said, my mere presence of stopping at that particular spot where I could have stopped to help, I would have been more of a danger than I would have been help. So, like I said, I don't want to cause more problems. How many times have you heard where somebody fell in the water or whatever, and another person jumps in to save that person that fell in the water, then they get in trouble. And then it becomes rescue the rescuer. You're taking a bad situation and you're making it worse. So you always have to make those split-second decisions. If I'm going to render aid in this situation, am I going to be a benefit to this situation, or can something go wrong where I'm going to cause more problems for emergency services when they get here? So I thought it was a really, really good situation to discuss with you guys, and kind of let you guys know what my mindset was and how I reacted to that particular situation. Give you guys something to discuss if you would happen to fall into a situation like I was here this week. And when you start thinking about these things, it's really, really good to discuss this kind of stuff with family members, because you might be out of the loop. You might not be the one that needs to you might be the one that needs rescuing, and you want the people around you to be able to react in the correct way so you can get aid if you need it. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. I thought this was a really good life situation of mine that I wanted to share with you guys, and give you guys something to think about. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. I hope you guys always get something beneficial out of my videos, and you guys have a good one.